Greetings, various people across the grand and mighty spectrums of time and indeed the multiverse. I am still, for the moment, Alexander Gordon Candace. Things have changed. I moved the room around. Kind of annoying, actually, because sort of this is the sort of thing that because of my autism, right? Like, my computer is my safe space. My computer is my rock, right? Like when I have my computer, I can trust in myself to handle whatever shit comes. And also at the same time, my bed, my sleeping space is so important because I have such trouble sleeping, and so kind of this is the sort of thing that if you're gonna do it, you want to do it yourself, right? Like you want to instigate it yourself. You want to sort of rev yourself up, to give yourself time to plan and prepare. And my mom just said, "Fuck that! I'm going away, Ellie." And it's like, yeah. Like she almost, you know. I've forgotten the meme. I have forgotten the meme, but you know, she charged off ahead and is like, I'm gonna begin cleaning the room out. And it's like, she didn't have to do that, but she did, and because she did, my room was like, nothing really of significance had been done, but enough had been done to where I couldn't go to sleep that night. And to where, and she also, in the process of which, managed to destroy my really nice set of headphones. And so that was just like, fuck. Fortunately, I had basically reached that point where I was sufficiently drunk. Like, this happened on Boxing Day, right? And it is now 2 days later. But, like, the fallout that happened, because essentially, after spending the day getting, you know, rather drunk, drinking port and eating, like, you know, 2/3 of a cheesecake, and when I say cheesecake, I don't mean a slice, I mean like a full pie of cheesecake, right? I'm not sure I'm not sure if a cheesecake is a pie, but you know, like as in like a pie chart sort of thing. I had the full pie and not just the slice of the pie. I had the full pie of cheesecake. So kind of after drinking a lot and eating a lot and watching, you know, the Doctor Who Christmas special, which it was alright, and watching the Shawshank Redemption, which kind of came off with leaving me with this sort of fantastic mantra of hope, hope, hope. I sort of was like, I will move around my room, and I did. I moved stuff out, like. So a little bit of context, like you can clearly see, you know, it's 9 AM, but you can see the reflection for the windows, right? So therefore, you can see that, broadly speaking, right, opposite there is where the camera would have been pointing at in earlier vlogs, and indeed in the post credit. I'm gonna have to record a sort of new what you call it, a new call to action at the end, because otherwise it's gonna look far too weird that we go from one angle to the other. But suffice to say, right, you can probably tell that, like, that's where I used to record. And then there was a whole load of stuff here, like tables and bins and a massive pile of rubbish. And that's gone. That was like it was really weird because basically before my dad had left to go off on his own Christmas, because frankly we didn't want him here, he took a whole load of stuff down from the loft. So like before I could even begin like to get anywhere close to dismantling the bed, I had to first like clear the stuff off the landing that, you know, I didn't put there and I didn't want there. Then I had to take the sort of table and rubbish and that stuff and take that out of the room. And then it's like, okay, now I've got to fucking figure out how to take this bed apart. And I finally got that done. I got the bed taken apart, got it out the fucking room. And then I tried to sleep. And the thing is that is that I'm basically the only person in this house who actually stays in their room. So being relegated to the sofa actually means being woken up at fuck knows when and told to move your ass because actually somebody else is going to spend the majority of the day on the sofa instead. And then I think, actually, on top of that, it got to 4 o'clock and my mum woke me up. And I say 4 o'clock, I mean 4 o'clock in the afternoon of the day after Boxing Day. And she was obviously quite annoyed because I had been moving furniture around at like 5 AM. And not the least bit pissed off about her breaking my my headphones. So things were fractious. But as I moved the room around, as I moved it around, there was this sort of creeping sense of dread. Because as you may notice, there is no bed. There is still no bed. I was supposed to be bringing the sofa bed up here, and then the mattress would be laid on top. Mattress is too big for the sofa bed, so it's like literally too wide, so it won't fit, and it's like us. So I'm now sleeping basically on a mattress on the floor, right? I am now effectively sleeping on the floor. So that's life now. That is indeed life. Thank you to the people who have wished me well on Christmas, although I did have a bit of paranoia on Christmas. So, but thank you to nice people the same, and thank you to one very nice person in particular who I'm not going to say the name of because I am aware that I am stalked by Nazis who hate me, and I don't want these Nazis who hate me to know who this person is for their own protection. But one person was very nice and actually sort of like gifted me just £50 to my PayPal. So that was nice. Thank you for that. Blimey, it's only been 10 minutes. Well, I suppose, yeah, the reason, by the way, I did this, I had this move around, was because I can now look out the window and see beautiful, frosty Woking, and it's all delightful. And I'm going to go for a walk later. Well, first I'm going to go for a shower because, as you might have, as you might imagine, right? I have not. I basically, like, in the last few days, I haven't really slept. I haven't changed pajamas, and I haven't really had a proper night's sleep, except for last night. So, gonna have a nice long shower and change into some nice new clothes, and then I'm gonna go for a walk. Get a couple of new sets of headphones. Got to get a new electric toothbrush because the motor died on my old electric toothbrush. So that's a pity. Yeah, it's weird. It is very weird. In 2016, I'm gonna make a cut here. The reason I'm gonna make a cut is because I want to blow my nose and have a drink. Also, because I have noticed that one slight drawback of making hour-long videos is that now I have this fancy opening, courtesy of a friend of mine, that requires to be faded in. It's quite handy to have a nice jump cut between a short segment at the beginning and a long segment at the end. At the end, I might actually sort of ring up in the future some sort of generic hello that I can just I don't want to worry about that being rated in the future. Anyway, cutting now. So, coming to the end of 2016, and it's maintaining its lethal reputation. But I am feeling different. Like, I sort of described, I think, in a sort of the past, how, like, I sort of went through the last 2 years almost like the villain Doomsday from the Death and Return of Superman. Like, in a sense that, like, shit would come. Shit would come up and it would be devastating, right? And then it'd just be like, okay, I'm gonna adapt to this now, and not gonna be as devastated again. I'm not gonna be as devastated again by it in future, and that's true. Right? Like, from a practical sort of defensive perspective, my ego is strong, right? You know, I'm not going to commit suicide. Like, it's there as an option. It is there for me as an option in case 2017 decides to amp up and do one better than 2016. But I don't seriously think that I'm gonna end up committing suicide, right? Like, I have bad days, I have bad moments, I have moments when things are bleak, but I kind of trust in my ability to deal with those bad moments. I mean, that's really why I was freaking out so much about my room being in a state, because my room is part of that coping structure. It's part of, I suppose, my life support system. my ego support system, right? Like I know that no matter what shit comes my way, I'll be able to write it out. And if you've read my fiction, you'll know my imagination can be quite fucking sadistic, right? My imagination can be very twisted and sadistic and dark. And so when it's talking about, the one person in the world that is completely fair game, what, then yeah, I think I'm more or less prepared for whatever shit may happen. But there is, I suppose, a difference between sort of structural integrity to one's ego and sort of suppose if we were to use the analogy of like a city in a state of war or something, like like Civ 5, okay, a city-state in a state of war, right? Like my defenses are strong. My offensive capabilities, they're good. But on the economic and happiness perspective, this sort of the home front kind of a bit shit at the moment. And the reason for this really is that when I got on the benefits program, well, the Social Security program, universal credit, although honestly, this is the case where I like to say Social Security instead of benefits, because I feel like to say benefits is to dismiss it. It's to say, oh well, this isn't important. This doesn't really help you. This doesn't really keep you alive. But I feel like really with universal credit, no, it's not gonna keep you alive. It's not that good. Right? Universal credit isn't Social Security because it doesn't give a shit about Social Security. Universal credit is quite literally, for me, just like there's £250 sitting on the table. I might as well try and get it, right? So I suppose I am going to see it as benefits instead of Social Security payments, because it's not good enough to be Social Security. But either way, when I first started that, when I started back up on that, right, that was a case of, okay, getting into the groove. This might fail, this might succeed, but at least I was in a groove, and at least I knew where I was heading in that groove. But then I kind of, Christ, it's very Morrissey. First I got a job, and then I lost the job, and heaven knows I'm miserable now. Because I got a job, and then I lost it, and it's like, fuck. I thought I had something. I really thought I had something. It was like, hey, yes, wait, fuck you. Playing, struggling to take off. It's like, yes. The nose dives into the tarmac and everyone's dead. It's that kind of feeling of just, God, fuck you. And And the thing is that I really don't have much faith left. Because it is faith, you know. I think, you know, there's someone on a sort of mental health group that I frequent who doesn't post much, but who's basically, their issue is that they're quite nihilistic, and kind of, I'm sort of that way, but I'm optimistic, but I'm also realistic. In the sense that I look at reality and I try to see the upsides. But really, 2016 is the kind of period when my kind of brand of optimism and this person's brand of sort of existential nihilism sort of overlap, because it's just like, yeah, things are gonna be okay. VR is here, and you know we've got 3D printers. Everything's gonna be fine. We've got the internet. We crowdfunding. We can do things. And you know, Trump's been elected, and Israel is basically saying, yeah, we're gonna commit genocide against the Palestinians. Oh, yay for fascists! It's like Russia is just like, ah yes, glory to the new leader. We do so love Trump, and oh, we are so very critical of Hillary Clinton, and the Assange is joining them, and it's not good. It's not good. It's really not good, and I'm laughing as I'm saying this because it's because, as I say, this is where sort of like optimism overlaps with nihilism, because it's like, yeah, things will get better, but not that, and not that, and like, okay, what I am going to say is going to sound morbid, and maybe in bad taste, but like, there was a moment there when Carrie Fisher, who has very sadly just died, when she went into hospital with a heart attack, and pretty much everyone was like, no, 2016, don't you dare, you know, sort of, you shall not pass. And then 2016 is just like, yeah, I mean, I would snap my fingers, but I can't snap my fingers. So is the best we're gonna have to go for. So yeah, 2016 just goes, no, fuck that. It's a fuck you, she's dead. And that's just, that sort of sums it up, right? It's just, I am infinitely hopeful, and I'm certain that I'm not going to commit suicide, and I am genuinely interested in how technology is going to change the world for the better, and how all these new talented people are going to make use of the new possibilities new technology presents. But I am also so very critically aware the things are just very bad. Just very bad. And I suppose, to sound incredibly selfish for the moment, but fuck it, it's my channel, it's my vlog. I've already been accused of far worse. Okay, I'm going to say what I'm going to say. I kind of feel like, for me personally, the thing that makes it hardest to deal with all this shit that's coming, with the war that is coming, I mean, for God's sake, Erdogan now has said, I have proof that the US created ISIS. Which, yeah, that sort of did. But that is basically like saying, yes, the Allies created the Nazis. No, it's like you are saying that the US created the very boogeyman that it is fighting against. You shouldn't do that. You can't do that, right? It's not acceptable. And the fact that Erdogan, this horrific fascistic dictator, is saying, you evil fascist emperor, I have proof that you created ISIS. It's like, oh fuck, we're all gonna die. The only way I can sort of cope with all of this shit going on is if I dismiss it and I say, well, I'm one person and I'm an idiot and I don't matter, right? No, nobody gives a shit. Like I am one fucking minuscule madman on the internet. Who gives a fuck, right? Like, yeah, there's 2,000 nutters who subscribe to me because I said, racists, please unsubscribe now, and all of the racist trolls were like, there is someone saying racists should unsubscribe! Quick, everybody! We should all be racists and subscribe to him! The fact that I am followed by morons who hate me does not change the fact that I am a fucking moron on the internet that does not fucking matter in the least, right? Like, I can't affect world policy. I can't change the shitstorm that is gonna happen. I can't change the clusterfucks that are gonna start exploding around the world. The one thing that I can do is try to survive. Try to keep going. Try to find some purpose in this life. And that purpose was writing. And I say was quite pointedly. It was writing. So I guess it all comes back to the issue of representation. Because the world's fucked. My world is fucked. My friends are fucked. My family is fucked. I am fucked. Not in a good way. Very bad way. The only way... Oh no, it's not the end. But a way that I have found previously very useful in giving my life meaning and purpose is in writing escapist fiction, in writing fantastical fiction, in writing wish fulfillment fiction. And the thing is that in a fantasy story, right? In a fantasy story, or in a sort of dystopian sci-fi story, you have to earn your happy ending, right? Like your escapist wish fulfillment is earned. You know, you have to defeat the evil empire. You have to, you know, lead your troops against the doodad, the what's it, and your mage has to go on an epic magical quest to recover the ancient doodad of what's it to defeat the grand evil dark lord of whatchamacallit, right? Like, that's what you do. What you do. But in a post-scarcity civilization, right, the technology sort of just gets developed, and there just comes a tipping point where it's like, well, we have this technology, it exists, it can do the job, we can look after everyone, why are we having all these wars? Right? And sure, you can still have your dystopias, and you can still have your great high barons who say, well, silk slippers going downstairs and wooden sandals going upstairs. We must treat people like shit so that they will be strong. Yes, but we have all this research and science and technology, and it says we don't have to do that. We can just have machines create plenty, and it's okay. Well, in that case, I shall still reign high, and I shall be the Lord High Pooba, and I will go out and I will crush heads. Great, yeah, we've got like 12 intercontinental ballistic missiles heading towards your position. We're tracking every movement through triangulation, because there's all sorts of cameras and surveillance, and everybody's walking around with a camera and a GPS tracker everywhere. So you're fucked, mate. Well, I've gone off grid, and I have got my secret band of hyper hacker people. Yeah. Funny thing. Everybody around you, they're still working like for us. They're all still good people, and like we've got all their data, and you're fucked. Well, I am a grand wizard in the world of magical technology. We've dropped a nuke on your ass. I am from a grand, high, extraterrestrial civilization which has got more material resources. Yeah, we're fucked in that case. Story over. Right? Like, and the thing is that as much as earning your happy ending feels good, it's also sort of necessary for plot, right? You know, a story of tech developers just iterating on change after change and saying, you know, well, you know, okay, we reached the limit of Moore's law, but we're still learning new ways to use its technology, and we're still learning better how to program with this technology, and we're doing cheats on top of cheats, bodges on top of bodges, and we're learning how to use this in new and interesting ways, and it's all building up on intellectual. It's like 1,000 iterations is not a story. I need to chase the pulp, because the pulp is where I can be escapist. The pulp is where I can be escapist. You know, that's the thing that gets me. That truly gets me about this age of politicizing representation, right? This idea that you're no longer allowed to write the male fantasy. And when I say the male fantasy, I mean, like, you know, the white guy hero who goes on his grand epic quest of epicness, and he gets to bang the girl at the end, right? Like, yeah, okay, maybe you can do that, but you know, because that's still the 90% of Hollywood. But you know, that's looked down upon, and certainly my kind of fiction very definitely is looked down upon. To be honest, for fairly good reasons, right? Like yes, yes, my fiction is not necessarily it's not fiction that anybody should be looking at and say, yes, that is what I want the world to be like. Like, no, absolutely not, no. But it's escapist. It's a fancy. It's like I have absolutely no doubt that that E.L. Black or whoever wrote 50 Shades of Grey, that they don't actually want to go out with someone like that. Like, it's a fantasy. It's nonsense. It's just bullshit that you like, right? And the problem that I have with sort of the movement against this was this movement of being in favour of representation and sort of being in favour of realism is that at a certain point it stops being fun. Because at a certain point your realism prevents the story from happening, and it's like there is no grand conspiracy. Everyone is just kind of a slimy, self-serving, greasy moron, right? And it's like, you know, the Empire is not some grand, tyrannical, fascistic thing that is going to crush your dreams. No, it's just a load of indifferent imbeciles, each trying to make their own way, treading over everybody else and therefore preventing any actual progress being made. It's sort of, you know, capitalism is in effect designed by committee, enforced en masse as a way of running the world, right? Like, social Darwinism, as evil an idea as that is, right, has some fucking merit in the sense that, you know, Darwinian evolution clearly fucking works to a certain extent, right? It's awful in the shit that happens along the way, but it clearly works to a certain extent. But what we see in reality is not social Darwinism. What we see in capitalism is a bunch of imbeciles each trying to get ahead in group projects and therefore succeeding in almost fucking nothing. And it's like, yes, okay, nobody is going to be completely realistic because nobody has got the fucking time to thoroughly fucking research every fucking minor character in their story. And it's like, yes, Lord Pasty McWhiteface person, you must accurately tell the perspective of a Mexican immigrant who's trans, and you know they were born paraplegic, and it's like, yeah, no, that's completely beyond my realm of expertise to write about, right? And it's like, I could do research, but I'd still be shit, right? I might be a whole lot less shit than I am now, but it's still, I shouldn't even fucking bother because I'd be shit. And it's like, to a certain extent, when you're writing Lord Pasty McWhiteface going into battle and slewing the evil McEvil, and then in return he gets Princess Charming of all dashingness, right? Like, that's horrible in the sense that we've seen it before, and it's male power fantasy, but like, the dude knows how to write that. Dude fucking knows how to write that. And so it comes to the point of like, if you can't just get good, right? Like, you know, to sort of use the Dark Souls terminology, you know, if you can't just get good, if you can't just become a better writer, then you're fucked. And it's like, this is my escapism. This is what gives me purpose in life. This is what keeps me feeling like I'm making progress in the universe. And if I honestly take on board the idea that, you know, representation is all important and we can't have any bad representation, then I need to stop, and I need to never ever write again, because I'm just never going to be good enough, and I know that, right? I am never going to be as good at writing a woman's perspective as a woman is, right? Like, and yeah, okay, women are just people too, yeah, but I have grown up my entire life with these expectations put on me by society, with a look on the world given to me by society, and that has almost invisibly tainted who I am as a person, right? Like, the fact that I still find myself arguing with feminists on Tumblr, you know, saying no, you know, boys who are angry and lash out absolutely need help, because if you don't fucking help them, then the fucking alt-right Nazi trolls are gonna get them and they're gonna radicalize them, right? You need to help the angry emo boys, because if you don't, the fucking Nazis are gonna get them and they're gonna grow in number, right? And it's like, I shouldn't be arguing with feminists, right? Like, the feminists know what they're doing. They've been succeeding for far, far longer than I've been alive, right? The feminists know their shit. Okay, some of them are fucking morons, but they know their shit, right? But still I find myself disagreeing, and still I find myself arguing, and still I find myself scared. Honestly, genuinely scared of feminists, because it's just like, I write fiction that I know you hate, and one day you're going to be ruling the world, and I really hope that you don't arrest me for what I've written, right? I mean, it's ultimately, it's as simple and plain as that, right? Like, I'm scared that I'm not good enough. And I'm scared that the one hope of salvation that I have is going to come around and bite me on the fucking arse, and bite me fucking hard, right? Because there is one thing left about me that doesn't give a shit about the pragmatic realities, that doesn't give a shit about realism, that doesn't give a shit about politics, or whether it be really possible or anything like that. there is one part about me that still is just like, nah, this is fun and we're gonna do it. It's fun. And that's the part of me that I am genuinely worried will see me shot at some point. Right? Well, okay, maybe not shot, but certainly shunned by society with the same way that Nazis are shunned today, that the alt-right are shunned today. Like the alt-right go together in their cliques and they use their secret terminology and they think they're really important, but really everybody's just like, they're a bunch of cunts, aren't they? Yeah, they're a bunch of cunts. We don't care about them. Fuck them. It's just like, even if you're in power, even if you hold tons of nukes and you say, I'm going to use these nukes, if you're a member of the alt-right, there is this contempt about you. This sense that you're not even human. This your opinions, your views, they don't matter. Your freedom of speech doesn't matter because you don't deserve speech. You don't deserve human rights. You're a fucking Neanderthalic freak. And these are the people that I know will be watching this video and be going, yeah, man, you're right, fairness, whoa! And it's like, you fucking morons, this is what I'm dreading. I'm dreading the day that I am roped in with these dangerous fucking fools. I'm dreading it. Frozen as a result. Absolutely fucking frozen. Because as much as I need purpose now, I don't want to jeopardize my life in the future. Because the Nazis don't scare me, right? Like, I'm not a moron. I am self-interestedly careful. But they don't really scare me. Because I know how this story goes. I know that, the left are slow to get moving when it comes to war. But once they get moving, they don't stop. I know that this too shall pass, that the Nazis shall pass, that the alt-right will be but a bitter, broken memory in years to come, in decades to come, that the alt-right will be a joke. I mean, they're a joke now, but they will be farces, right? The alt-right will be an insult. In the way that we say, grammar Nazi, feminazi, in the future, people will be saying, alt-right in that same level of cartoonish villainy that's just laughable and stupid, and how could they think that they would ever win with such an obviously evil idea? People I'm scared about are the feminists. because they are going to win this war. The feminists are going to take over the world. They haven't already. And I'm not saying that they're going to be some sort of tyrannical regime. I'm saying that the feminists are going to be right, and they're going to be true, and history will side with them, right? Like, make no mistake, the people on Tumblr do not, by and large, represent how the feminists of the future will think, right? Like, feminism is like many different political ideologies. It's something that a lot of people say they are a part of, but everybody's got a slightly different interpretation of what it actually means. And that's how it evolves, that's how it changes, that's how it succeeds time and time again, because it's not like the American right. It's not like, you know, the founding of America, which nailed down everything into the Constitution and said, we will not move from this, so that in the decades and years to come, decades and years and centuries to come, that when this is outdated, that it will be impossible to be changed. Like, no, feminism changes, and it will succeed, and it will take over the world, and it will, if we get there, it will certainly be part of whatever colonial endeavors humanity goes on, in terms of, the wider, universe, and indeed multiverse. Like, feminism's going to win, and it is going to win hard, and frankly, quite fucking right too. When I say I'm scared of it, I'm not saying let's stop it. I'm saying I'm scared because it's going to win, and it should win, and it terrifies the pants off of me, because I don't think it's going to judge me nicely. I mean, I went to a series of these schools that sort of Christian ideology is sort of part of my personal culture. But obviously I'm an atheist, but like, I suppose I don't have an afterlife. I don't have, the judgment of St. Peter. What I have is society's view of me when I'm 80. What I have is, whether I'm gonna be one of the people who society still respects when they're 80, like, Mark Hamill or whatever, or whether I'm gonna be one of these idiots who says the wrong thing and is forever after scorned and thought of as kind of this horrible thing. And it's, I've watched this happen to people that I've loved, that, okay, I did not mean it to count like that, but to people whose work I admire and stuff like that. People who have said the wrong thing at the wrong time and been associated with the wrong crowd so that they are remembered poorly. And, like Stephen Fry, the fact that Stephen Fry made one bad joke against, against a friend on what one bad joke that was fucking mild against a friend on Twitter, and he was savaged, and it's like, now, ooh, he's dead, oh, bigoted old man. And it's and the fact that poor Jonathan Bain, total biscuit, right? Like this is a guy who has always been about the consumer, always been about ethics in games journalism. Like just because he's a fucking journalist, right? He's a journalist. He gives a shit about ethics in journalism. Like that shouldn't be a taboo. But because a whole load of misogynist bastards came along and used it as their fucking war cry, he's a misogynist. It'd be like if in the future, you know, the Hippocratic oath was used by some far right bunch of extremists to commit killings, right? And they said, well, first do no harm, push, you know, and it's like, then, you know, doctors and podcasters who say, hey, first do no harm, they are now seen as siding with this evil group because first do no harm, and hey, you're giving credence to these evil terrorists, and it's like, I was fucking here first. And the thing is that I'm not them. I'm not Stephen Fry making a small comment about a friend. I'm not Jonathan Bain sort of championing a just thing that is later co-opted by an evil cause. I am a writer of disgusting fiction about women because I like it. And it's like, if feminism and popular culture is judging these people harshly, is condemning them, is attacking them and hounding at them, I'm fucked! I am fucked in the fucking ass. Without lube. It's like, this very escapism that gives me purpose, that gives me some sort of sense of who I am, it's going to backfire. And I mean, I've already witnessed one element of the alt-right using something I had, using the fact that I write bad stuff to drive negative attention towards me. Right? Like when the fucking Nazis are using trans people as their attack force against the target they are abusing, then I am genuinely fucked come the time feminism rules the world. Anyway, I think I'm gonna go have that shower. Oh. Ah, hang on. Slight problem. Come on. There we go. There is too much light. I cannot see. Thank you to all my Patreons at patreon.com for helping to make videos like this possible. If you wish to leave a like or dislike to rate the video for my analytics, that would be much appreciated. Comments are always welcome, though be aware that they will be moderated before being published, so please be civil. If you liked this video, please consider adding it to your favourites, sharing it to your friends, or subscribing. If you wish to help me out, or my channels, please consider whitelisting my videos in your adblock software, subscribing for monthly donations through Patreon, or giving a small one-off donation. Alternatively, I have a Steam wishlist for games I would consider Let's Playing or streaming, so if you would like to see me broken before the Dark Souls altar, or just happen to have gotten a duplicate of a game in a humble bundle, then you know what to do. I also have an official Facebook fan page, Twitter account, Tumblr, Reddit and blog, so you can stay up to date with all of my videos, blog articles and the things I care about. Links are in the video description. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I think that all that now needs to be said is ban all guns, institute universal basic income now, and ensure government is elected by proportional representation. Oh, and also, fuck the racists and fuck the alt-right.